Sara's Partyline time here today on your Thursday edition of Partyline, brought to you by Chiropractic Connection along with Wimmer Opticians. We are talking Stearns County Soil and Water here today. Dennis Fuchs in studio. Good morning, Dennis.
Hey, Kirby. Good to hear you.
Who'd you bring in here today?
This is the wild man, Logan.
The wild man,
Wild
Logan.
man. Oh, here we go.
Well, he's definitely a good shot, a better shot than I am.
Oh.
Hold on. It doesn't take that much.
Nice. Well,
Yeah, we both.
you made your bed, now you lay in it.
Yeah, right. We're both on a Sporting Clays team, and he's
Opposing teams,
Yeah,
I don't know. No.
You're on different teams.
Yep,
Different teams.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And we've been out several times already this month, and he's kicked my butt.
It seems to be
every
windier
time.
when Dennis is shooting as opposed to when you're shooting.
Weird. We
Logan.
shoot at the same time.
Yeah, I
though.
know.
That's crazy.
It's windier in his spot than yours.
Yeah, right.
So, great to get outside though.
Oh yeah. It is. Last night we had to shoot, and it was absolutely gorgeous outside. It wasn't too windy for the first time in a while.
It was a very nice night last night.
No bugs, no ticks yet, hopefully. Well, I had to pick one off the dog the other day, but not where we were.
Yeah.
Logan, refresh me of your last name.
Berg.
Logan Berg.
B-E-R-G,
Yeah.
yes.
And you have been in the office now.
Been in my position for over a month now, but I've been with NRCS for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But I've been going up to Waite Park since I started, basically during COVID.
Sure. So some familiarity comes day by day, and
Yep.
some
A little bit of heckling.
little bit. I can see
bit.
it. I can see some friendly
But-
ribbing in that office.
But no, it's all good. It's a really nice place to work, and everyone gets along. And we, with conservation being our main goal, it's a really nice place to get to go into the office every day.
Sure. And this time of year, have you gotten the email inbox seems to be loaded from time to time?
It's always loaded, it
Okay,
seems like.
yeah.
But no, especially this time of year when everyone's getting the itch, everyone's planting, or at least starting to, or thinking about it. And you get phone calls. People want to start doing their programs. Like, hey, what do I need today? What do we have scheduled? And it's like, well, we'll just go through it again. But yeah, it's full blown go time right now for everyone. And I'm sure Stearns County is thinking about planting corn if they haven't already.
Yeah. Dennis, I heard you in passing with Randy. You asked the runts if anyone's been planting, and have you seen any planters out?
Yes, I have. I live over on the other side of the river in Sherburne County, and it is sandy over there. And there's lots of wind erosion. They just don't have the Soil Water Conservation District like we do over here in Stearns.
We're leading, I heard.
Yeah. But yeah, the potato planting is taken off in full speed, and there were several tractors that I saw yesterday out and about taking care of that already. So it's taken off here in Stearns County. Like Mark Lefebvre was saying, between St. Joe and Cold Spring, there's sandier soil, more irrigated land in that area. There's some folks out doing small grains here, and I'm sure there's some corn going in there. The heavier textured soils, like around Lake Henry, El Rosa, not a lot of corn getting planted yet. But
Sure.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen this weekend. It looks like we're going to have in the next several days a good chance of rain starting tomorrow.
Think of how far they are ahead this year compared to last year, though. Because even just getting out there and getting some field work done, it's, last year they were twiddling their thumbs.
Right, yeah. We had record snowfall last year, and a lot of that soaked into the ground because we didn't have that much frost because it had that much snow protecting and insulating the soil from being frozen. And then it soaked in. And Logan and I were talking, it was even for Sporting Clays, we didn't get out until late April, May, before we could start shooting just because there's snow drifts everywhere.
Right, and we had all that moisture the last few weeks when we go out shoot Sporting Clays. It's all sand out there where we shoot in Sherburne County. We didn't have to worry about mud on our boots. It's all getting soaked in. And
Interesting.
You don't see really any gully erosion that I've seen driving around the county.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing how the soil can change from such a short distance from, say Albany to Santiago.
Santiago, off Highway 95.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
Exactly.
I used to drive by Santiago every day on my way to Princeton.
Their big bar is Bailey Ray's.
Bailey Ray's.
Yeah.
And then someone told him that. He didn't find that out on his own, Logan.
Oh, no?
No.
I'm sure. Yeah, he's never stepped foot in there
He was
ever.
informed of that, yeah. Not one soda pop.
We live between two little towns of Palmer and Duelm. It kind of reminds me of growing up between Spring Hill and Lake Henry.
Lake Henry, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
it's a nice spot. It's not quite as nice as Spring Hill and Lake Henry, but they try.
Nowhere it could be, right?
Right.
Nowhere it could be. Logan, through your day-to-day operations, what have local growers been leaning on you for as of late?
A lot of it's doing the cover crops. They're thinking about cover crops and how after they plant their corn, when are they going to implement it? How are they going to implement it?
Sure.
And just be like, what kind of mix should I be looking at? I'm like, well, that question when it comes down, what kind of goal do you have in mind? Are you looking to feed it? Are you looking to do it with programs? Are you looking just to have something out there just to reduce that wind erosion?
Yeah.
But doing that, and a lot of people are doing nutrient management, especially through the office, asking, getting all their forms in order, the plans in order. Be like, what do I need to give you before we can start applying N, P, and K out in the field? So nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium.
Aha,
So,
look at him
yeah.
correcting his acronyms. My guy, Logan.
I'm
Yeah,
trying.
right.
I'm trying.
Yeah, little boy.
So-
But through those day-to-day operations, it's got to be fun to try to solve that puzzle, on a case-by-case basis.
Right. And it's not like a factory in our office. We have different problems, different solutions every single day.
Sure.
And, yeah. You never go home thinking, oh, today was an easy day. No, it's never an easy day, but it's always a fun day.
Now, when you talked, you had mentioned goals, like just long-term, is this a 5-year, 10-year thing? Are you planning on being the Farm Family of the Year someday?
Right.
By incorporating NRCS and stuff like that, is just trying to figure out what they want to do.
Right. Yeah. It's completely up to the operator and what their vision is. Who am I to tell somebody just because I have a degree doesn't mean I know what they want.
College boy.
I'm not going to tell the farmer how to farm his own land. He
Yeah.
knows his ground way better than I ever will. I'm just there to be given the tools that he needs to meet his goal or try to reach it.
Sure.
That can be 6 months, can be a year, can be 10 years. It's completely up to him. But like I said, it's what he wants to do is our forefront and the goal we try to strive to be. Given we have our own standards and specs that we have to meet if they are in a program. But other than that, it's completely up to the operator.
And Dennis, that's kind of the beauty of it. You're there as a resource, not as this is what you do right here and now. It's
Exactly.
Yep. You're working with Century Family Farms and stuff like that who can lean on great grandpas saying, no, that's not how it's going to get right. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a tough wall to beat down.
Yeah, it is. And so, we come up with a recipe if they want to do cover crops. So we've got an idea what works, what doesn't, and then we share that with the farmer. And they implement the plan. And we work around their schedule. Like Logan was saying, do you want to just have cover out there to protect it from soil erosion, or do you want to start, building up your soil, have some nitrogen carry over for the next crop? So there's different types of mixes that we can use to meet whatever the farmer's goal is, and that's the fun thing is putting that recipe together, working with them, identifying what they'd like to see happen on their farm, and making it happen.
And then, Logan, once you get that rapport and it's a yearly conversation, or you can look back on, their file from 5 to 10 years ago and stuff like that, that's only going to benefit everybody in the long run.
Right. And what's interesting is like you take something like cover crops, it's almost an immediate thing you get to see. Like your work is coming to fruition. You see that it's actually impacting. Then all of a sudden you start seeing mushrooms come up, organic matter starting to increase, and all of a sudden you get the neighbor calls the office and he's like,
what the heck's going on?
What's going on? I was, well, I can't give you the specifics of what he's doing, but we can do it on your operation too if you want it, if that's something you're interested in. And like all of a sudden now you get my generation, so not Dennis's generation, a little bit younger. And then they're like,
you were 2 years ahead of him in school, or 3?
Yeah, I think 3.
3 years ahead of school. Yeah, that's right.
So like kids my age are now talking to dad or grandpa, be like, hey, this is actually working. There's data on this. They're going to school to do this. And they want to bring this back to the farm, and then all of a sudden, okay, well, we're going to try it in the back 40 where no one can drive by it, no one can see it. And then all of a sudden, the dad and the grandpa, they're starting to be like, oh, wait, this can actually be a thing. This is actually we're actually giving something back, not just taking.
Dennis, right when he's talking, remember the Janskis that
Yes,
year? That was a huge, like, Dad, come on, let's try this. And just arms crossed, head shaking, no way,
not
not
gonna happen.
doing it.
Yep.
And then, bam, 2-3 years later, it's like, well, we're going to do the whole farm now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's a great memory, Kirby, that of the Jansky family farm. The dad was just, well, maybe we'll try it in the back 40, and then
behind the tree line where no one's watching.
And it was successful. And now they're doing it, like you say, all over the farm, and they're doing a fantastic job. And the son actually is going around Midwest sharing the information and helping other young producers move in that direction.
Look at that, NRCS foot soldier for you.
Yes,
I like
exactly. It is.
There we go.
Yeah, I had a guy from school. He gave me a call, and we were in different schools, I should say. He was more ag, I was at natural resources, and he's like, "I give it to me straight. Is this actually a thing? Will this actually work?" I'm like, "Are you gonna try it? I'll help you if you try it."
Yeah.
But he didn't want to do any programs. He just wanted to see it. And his dad was the biggest skeptic ever. He was calling me. He's like, "This ain't gonna work here. This is not gonna work." And all of a sudden he sees it, and all of a sudden they got high bushel rates of corn with cover crops, no more erosion. He's like, "Well, we're gonna do this next year, right?" And then they went
Off and running.
Full. Yep.
That's the way you like it. We have Logan Berg and Dennis Fuchs in here today talking Soil Water Conservation District on your Thursday. Much more to come from these two. Are back to On Sarah's Partyline. Partyline on your Thursday brought to you by Wimmer Opticians and Chiropractic Connection. We have Logan Berg as well as Dennis Fuchs in studio here today talking NRCS, talking SWCD. Now I'm doing the acronyms. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm morphing into one of you guys as we hang out. We call that the Dennis effect, I think. But Fuji, what do we got to cover yet? We have a lot of stuff on the docket here today. And, you wanted to start by grilling him, I believe.
Yeah, well, we certainly can. Well, and I can start by saying that we got a job opening right now for a conservation planner in our office, and we're looking for somebody with a 4-year degree, hopefully, in earth science or agronomy, soil science, environmental studies. Or you can have a 2-year degree with experience that would match that. And we're going to fill that position here later this spring. The application period ends May 13th, and the interviews will be on June 3rd. And if you're interested, visit our website and just Google Stearns SWCD, and it'll pop up. And you'll see the career opportunity there. Get in. There's 4 elements to the application, which are all spelled out on the website. And we're looking for lots of good candidates so that we got a good pool to pick from.
They're going with good candidates this time around.
Yeah, that's how you get a award-winning team, right? You gotta have some good people on the team.
Mm-hmm. There's no bull there with that award-winning team. I feel like every other time you come in here, you're telling me about some award that other members of your team got.
Yeah. Well, I should mention that the
another one?
the award-winning Mark Lefebvre would be the conservation planner's boss. So that he's the conservation planning team manager, and this individual will be working with that Hugh Hammond Bennett Conservation Planner Award winner, Mark Lefebvre. Pretty amazing.
Champion.
Yeah, championship.
That guy's going to need a bigger house or an addition for like a trophy room, basically.
Right? But I was when we're off air, Kirby, we were saying that maybe we should have Logan just, because he's relatively new in his career, and talk a little bit about his career path with the listeners. So if there's folks out there that are, I wonder how I could ever get into the conservation planning world, Logan, why don't you just share a little bit of how you got here?
Yeah, sure. As I said last time we were here, I think, I grew up in a little town called Nowthen, Minnesota, just east of Elk River, about 5 miles. Wow, I sounded really Minnesotan right there.
Just east of Elk River.
Just a little bit. Went to high school in Elk River, graduated in 2014, went to North Dakota State University, go Bison, graduated 2018, and now Dennis is sighing.
How does that S make the Z sound from those guys up there? I've never understood that.
Yeah,
Bison?
Go Bison. Go Bison. It's
Bison.
a Bison.
Right. Yeah, we don't have buffalo in America. We have bison.
But everyone from up there calls it the bison.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. It just must be the lingo up there.
That's
But
the
it's
Fargo,
always bison.
that Red River water running through you, I guess. So.
Exactly. Yeah, so I graduated in 2018, and actually my first job was I worked for HR, for Animal Plant Health Inspection Service, APHIS, because the government was at a shutdown for such a long time.
Okay.
So there wasn't very many jobs out, and I applied to a few, and that's the one I got. So I was actually going down to Minneapolis. I took the North Star train every day for about 6 months. Then after that, I looked on USA Jobs, and there was a position open at the Farm Service Agency in Elk River, so my hometown. And then I worked there for about 3 years until NRCS had a positioning open in Elk River. So then again, jumped on usajobs.gov, applied to the position, and then that's when COVID kind of really hit. And then I started going to Stearns, and then I assisted in Buffalo, I assisted in Foley, just about every team in the district. So Team 10, that's where I got my start, and here I am. And then I just recently applied to the DC position here over a month ago, and I'm here to stay.
And there he is.
Yep.
DC.
District Conservationist.
Yeah.
So I'm not a supervisor, but I'm not just a regular planner either.
Sure. Sure. And through a month, liking your new office?
It's a lot more fast paced than just coming up here every once in a while. But
Sure.
I do enjoy the team that's up here. Everyone wants to be in the office, wants to be working, putting conservation on the ground, and it's just a real joy to come to work every day. And I never go home and be like, oh, that was just a terrible day. So no, you get tired. No, it is work. It's still work. I don't care what kind of job you have, even if it's your dream job. You still get tired at the end of the day. But it's not. I don't dread waking up in the morning and going to work, which is a really awesome feeling.
When you were going to NDSU, what led you to kind of the classrooms you ended up in?
Actually, when I first started school, I was going to become an engineer.
Okay.
And I was sitting there going through classes, and it's like, wow, I do not want to be stuck in a cubicle every day. I won't be making the money. And actually, I'll do a little shout out. Greg Lund, who was part of Farmhouse Fraternity, which is what I was also a part of. He sat me down. He's like, hey, what are you doing? What's your plan here? And he's like, I don't know, dude. I can't do what I'm doing right now. Because he was the same deal.
Sure.
He's like, you should come talk to Jack Norland, our supervisor, who's now retired. And I immediately enrolled into the School of Ag, Natural Resource Management, and I excelled at it. And it was like second nature to me, because growing up on the farm where Grandpa had conservation at the forefront of his mind, it really instilled that in me too. And it's like, what am I doing trying to become an engineer when I could be outside some of the time? Not all the time, but most of the time. But when you have rainy days like tomorrow, we get to choose to be in the office. Don't have to be sitting outside. But Dennis's team is also doing something tomorrow too, I think. For a tree pickup, I think.
Yes. I wanted, before we move on, Logan, I wanted to mention that we really like to see staff stick around.
Yeah.
And NRCS staff typically in our office, we're a training station for NRCS because we're a larger office with a lot of experienced staff to help bring on new employees. But having Logan here in our office now, and we're hoping that he sticks around, and he actually got to be friends with one of the Stearns SWCD employees, Kelly Molitor.
There we go.
And there's a wedding coming up down the road here. So I got a feeling that Logan will be sticking around for a long time, which is really good for our landowners.
There we go. Got the hook set.
Yes.
Yeah, hook, line, and sinker, as they would say.
He's here to stay, folks.
Yep.
Logan, if anyone did want to get a hold of you, talk early conservation, just get the ball rolling, what's the easiest way to obtain you?
Either come into the office or give me a call. My direct line is 763-290-3458. We can talk conservation all day long.
Well, you got to stick around now. You got the phone number memorized.
I have to, yeah.
Be foolish to waste that valuable information. Logan, a valuable asset to your squad, though, Dennis. You guys seem to you just keep building that bullpen, right?
Yeah, that's what you got to do. If you're going to win the World Series, you got to have a good bullpen.
Got to get some outs late in the game. There we go. Alvin taught you well. So, big day.
Yeah.
Or now, what do you want to go holding for today?
Well, let's talk about Arbor Day first.
Let's.
Yeah, Arbor Day, yes.
Yeah, because Arbor Day is tomorrow, last Friday in is it the last Friday?
Sure is. April 26th. The month ends on the 30th.
Yeah, so that is tomorrow. And we also have Tree Pickup Day. So any of the folks that ordered trees through our office, they'll be picking those up tomorrow at the Rockville County Park. The Stearns County Park is just north of Rockville. And we do have a few bundles of trees for sale. If there's anybody out there, dang, I never got an order in this year. I wonder if they got any extra trees. Well, if you wanted to, head out to Rockville County Park. We'll be out there in the morning until afternoon. And we do have some. If you do show up and you want to buy some, make sure you bring a cash or check, and we can take care of you right there. And Arbor Day is a great day. Trees are so important, and you're probably wondering how Stearns County can be the number one in the state of Minnesota for dairy and in farming receipts, and also have 100,000 acres of trees. It's because we're a big county, and we're very, very diverse.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's amazing. We got the Avon Hills that is very forested, and then we also have areas like Belgrade, El Rosa that are more prairie-like. And in between, we've got a lot of farmsteads that have, and lakes that have a lot of trees growing around them. And if you do need assistance with getting your forest stand reforested or improving that stand, there are EQIP programs that...
Yep, you got EQIP, so Environmental Quality Incentive Program. You got CSP, Conservation Stewardship Program. And if you want to stop in over at FSA, Farm Service Agency, and maybe develop a CRP plan too, they are providing benefits through that as well.
We also provide forest stewardship plans for individuals that have larger wooded acres, and we can assist with that. And the DNR also has some cost share assistance available in case you have trees that have been impacted with emerald ash borer or other diseases, or like oak wilt. They'll have some cost share assistance to help you implement that. And that information is available online at the DNR website. Just Google Minnesota DNR forestry, and you'll find it there. But yeah, trees are a big part. They clean up the air. They produce oxygen for us to breathe. And when we have wildfires coming out of Canada, it's nice to see our trees cleaning up the atmosphere so that we can breathe freely.
I talked to a landscaper at this very moment yesterday, and I'm going to use the same quote I said yesterday. Best day to plant a tree, 20 years ago.
You're right on.
You'll thank yourself tomorrow on Arbor Day, 20 years from now after you plant that tree.
That is so true.
So,
and the second best day is today.
Today, yeah. There you go. So information, or just stop by Rockville with a check or cash and be good to go?
Yep, that's tomorrow. They're going to be out there 8 o'clock in the morning already, all the way until afternoon, 4 o'clock. It'd be nice you got out there in the morning to take care of it before they're all gone. And other folks will be picking up trees they ordered online. So we take orders starting late summer, early fall, so we'll be closing the website down. That's how we take the tree orders typically, and we'll distribute, and then we'll re-evaluate the trees that we should be selling here in the county that are appropriate for this landscape and soils, and then we'll make that available again, like I said, late summer, early fall. And Kirby, I'll share that information down the road here on KASM.
Future party lines.
Yeah, future party lines.
Look at this. He's already doing prep work for a September show. You can't keep this guy off the job. So.
Well, and if you come in the office early, too, and you have interest in buying trees, you also get put on a postcard, too, to get reminded, hey, tree sales are open. Why don't you come down to the office or go online and buy your trees?
Yes, we do send out postcard reminders to folks when this happens too. So if you want to get on that, give our office a call or stop in. Our general office phone number, I'll share it again with your listeners. I'm sure they can almost remember it by heart. 320-251-7800, extension 3.
There we go. Opportunity to get a hold of the gang over at the Soil Water Conservation District. So, Dennis, with Arbor Day coming up, it's a busy day tomorrow. We have a fun day today going on in Holdingford.
We do. We have the kickoff ceremony for the We Are Water Minnesota exhibit. And this is going to be at the Boho Cafe, Art in Motion at Holdingford. I don't know if all of the listeners have been to Holdingford to check out this facility. It is a beautiful facility. Greg Conzer, a graduate from Holdingford High School, worked for ADM, came back and created this business in the heart of right on the edge of Holdingford.
It's a sweet spot. It's pretty cool.
Right on the Wobegon Trail. And we've got a big event going on today at 4 o'clock. We're going to have the kickoff. We've got some special things lined up. We've got release of some special art. We also have Michael Shines, who's a music artist here locally, and he is quite well known here locally and actually across the nation as a heck of a songwriter and singer. And he's writing a special song to celebrate today's event opening. So at 4 o'clock, get over to Art in Motion, the Boho Cafe. Once in a while, I call it the Hobo.
The Hobo?
Yeah. And, Arlen Lorenz, my supervisor from Holdingford, corrects me immediately when
Holdingford
that
first,
happens.
huh?
Yeah. But
Is that what they were going for? Hobo? Holdingford Bolus?
Yeah.
I thought
maybe.
so, maybe. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so this is...
Boho.
Boho.
Bolus first.
Yeah, Bolus.
Boho Cafe. Not the Hobo Cafe. See, now he's
gotta go
tainting
alphabetical.
me,
Yeah. Everybody's going to have trouble now. That's the Boho Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's...
and they're going to blame Dennis.
Is that...
I keep calling it the Hobo.
Yeah, well, good guy to blame. He brought it up. Is that an RSVP event, Dennis, or just show up out there? Or?
Just show up.
Okay.
And this is the kickoff. We got a big One Watershed, One Plan planning effort that's going to be kicking off for the Mississippi River Sartell, and that includes Ford and all the way up into Morrison. It's a big watershed, and it's going to increase the awareness of all the resources in that watershed, and it's just going to be a great way to kick it off. And if you're curious, that's located in the north central hardwoods forest ecoregion of Minnesota, and it's primary ag with approximately 96% of the land under private ownership. And land use is about 35% pasture, row crops about 30%, forests about 20%, and wetlands about 10%. So we're going to be going through this planning effort starting this summer. Going into the next year, we'll be bringing in all the partners, the SWCDs that are part of that watershed, the county commissioners, the SWCD supervisors, any of the major cities that would like to be part of that planning effort, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sure.
It's that's how we move forward with a plan on what we should be working on. It's these one watershed, one plans that tell us where we should be targeting our efforts to help those landowners in these areas. And we also help folks outside of those areas, but we start with those folks in that targeted area where we have the greatest potential to improve our resources, our water quality, our groundwater quantity, and all those factors that we're concerned about. So yeah, if you can, today at 4 o'clock, I'm planning on going there. And I'm planning on having a beer. Because they do sell beer there, and they might have some other minor refreshments there available too. But I want to buy a beer.
Yeah.
And usually they support the local breweries. Right when I was there last year biking, they had some beer from the brewery out of Little Falls. Which was very tasty.
Cool.
And I've seen Third Street Brewery beer there, and it's just if you haven't been to the Boho Cafe.
There you go.
Art in Motion. It is a really cool little spot, and they got really good food there.
Yeah, wood fire pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
good
and,
stuff.
That's something that they just started, I think, last year for the first time, and it's been going over great. I haven't had a chance to check that yet, but yeah, hopefully we'll see you out there this afternoon at 4 o'clock. You'll be done with your field work, and it'll be time to slow down and let the rain settle in.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow.
Settle in and enjoy a good program. Dennis and Logan, we have a question here. Kind of down your Arbor Day path. Caller question wanted to know, when the carbon sequestrarian topic is brought up, why isn't the planting of trees mentioned as a solution for our environment?
Yeah, and they do mention that. It's something that a lot of us recognize, that if you plant a tree, it's going to sequester carbon, and when you harvest that tree, it's either going to be carbon neutral, say you burn it in a wood stove for heat, or if you use it for furniture or building, or, that type of product, you're going to actually store it for a much longer period of time. So it's moving in the right direction. So when you disturb soil, all that organic matter that has been stored there over centuries and centuries, you start releasing a lot of carbon as you disturb the soil, and that's where you can see a greater increase in carbon in the environment, which can influence the climate over the long term.
Sure.
And anybody can recognize this. When you've ever driven by a field while it's getting tilled, you can smell fresh dirt. That's actual carbon getting released into the air as you're smelling it.
Okay.
So when it comes to tree planting, it's always good to plant a tree, but then also it's always good to plant cover crops too, because not only are you storing carbon, but you're also conserving it, and you're keeping it on the ground rather than having it assimilated through the air.
Sure.
And one thing with trees like emerald ash borer, our ash trees are really going to get decimated here in central Minnesota and across the Midwest. So we need to continue to diversify our tree population as much as possible. Where I live, we got a lot of oaks, and oak wilt has been knocking them out like you won't believe. So I'm trying to, come up with other trees that we can replace those with. You still need some oaks because it is the oak savanna, but doggone oak wilt has really been impactful. In Stearns County, about this far out, we haven't seen as much, but, it's easily transmitted with the picnic beetle. If you got a fresh wound on your oak tree during the growing season, those picnic beetles can transmit that virus, and it'll just take a few weeks before all of a sudden leaves start dropping from the top of the canopy, and they're all laying on the ground, and you got a dead oak tree.
Yeah, then you also got to worry about budworm too for your spruce trees. That's really decimating up in Duluth right now, and it's spreading too. So now not only do you have a fire hazard of spruce trees that are dried out, but then it's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if it ever catches fire, we'll have a real problem on our hands.
So you could argue tomorrow's one of the bigger Arbor Days we've ever had.
Yeah, let's just have it. Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? We could celebrate Arbor Day today at Holding Fort at Boho Cafe. But we are water ceremony. Why not get a little jump on Arbor Day?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Get
Do we got time yet, Kirby?
I suppose, just for you.
Okay. Thursday, June 13th at the Boho Cafe. We're also going to get there about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We have a special tour in the morning that'll be invite only for elected folks and people that don't usually get to see the projects they're working on. But then we're going to go to the Boho Cafe after the tour, and we're going to visit a little bit with the elected officials and the policymakers. And we're also going to recognize Chuck Uphoff,
Okay.
supervisor that's going to be retiring and resigning the end of June. And it'd be a great opportunity. We had him on
Sure did.
air here a couple months ago.
He had quite the shift with you guys on the board.
Yes, almost 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's just a great supervisor, a great person. And we're going to celebrate that Thursday, June 13th, about 3:30 at the Boho Cafe. And if you can, put that on your calendar. Join us. First cutting of hay should be done by then. The fuel operations should be pretty much wrapped up. It'd be a good time to have a beer.
There we go. That sounds like Dennis.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
good
we
time
got,
to have a
and
beer.
we got one more announcement too here. We got the RCPP, Regional Conservation Partnership Program, One Watershed, One Plan. A little bit of separate funding for people that are located in the North Fork Crow River. Application deadline is actually tomorrow. They actually announced it before we were here, or after we were here last time. So that covers a lot of different practices: manure storage, cover crop, irrigation. The list goes on and on. So if you are in the North Fork Crow River watershed and you want to do a little bit of planning, give the office a call. We can take your application over the phone.
Opportunity for you.
Yes,
But
sir.
you got to get moving.
You gotta get moving. Yep.
Yeah.
We got full staff in the office today, so ring those phones, or you can give me a call directly, 763-290-3458.
And do these pop up often like that? Just that quick little, you have a month to sign up?
Since I've started, it's happened more. I don't know, Dennis, in the past, what do you think? Has it been popping up like it has been the last few years?
Yeah. Those special programs like the Regional Conservation Partnership Program can pop up. But Chris and the other NRCS folks like to remind listeners that it's a continuous sign up for like EQIP and these other programs. So you can always come in at any time to, let us know what your resource concerns are, and we will work with you, identify programs. And, Logan mentioned some earlier, the person wanted to do cover crops. He didn't want to sign up for any program. Well, we can still share technical assistance with you, even if you don't want to sign up for any type of program.
Yep.
And we can get you down the right path. So just come in the office or give us a holler. And
Yep.
I'll give the general phone number, 320-251-7800, extension 3, and we can assist you.
There we go.
So don't be afraid to
I
give
still
us a
can't
holler.
remember that number.
Yeah, well,
Hey, once you get to Dennis's tenure, you'll have that thing like it's
Hopefully.
rattling off your Social Security number.
you're so
basically.
kind.
So,
Tenure.
10
10
year.
year.
Yeah.
10
10 year? No, 10 year. Hey, Richmond at Lake Henry next week. You want to go?
Oh,
I'll buy you the first two.
First
doggone
two.
it.
Ooh.
Next week,
First two
that's
what?
like May 5th.
May 5th, Sunday.
Doggone it. I'm going to head southeast turkey hunt that day.
Gosh.
Oh,
This guy and his
you tell
excuses,
Dylan
I
he's
tell you.
going down.
There we go. Dennis Fuchs and Logan Berg joining me in Logan Berg joining me in studio here today. Boys, enjoy a great Arbor Day. Happy early Arbor Day, and we'll talk to you next time, okay?
Sounds good, Kirby.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go. That is Dennis.